This is Komets Corner.
Aliardi to the far side. Aliardi with a shot. He scores! Alex Aliardi, it's a power play goal. Kelly was just about to come out of the box, and when you need a big one, give it to AA.
Well, as the late, great Meatloaf once sang, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You've been to a lot of concerts,
Saw
Shane
what you did there.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Meatloaf? Did you ever see Meatloaf
I did not
live?
see Meatloaf. Nope, that was one that I missed out on, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, you did, but you did not.
I've eaten a lot of meatloaf.
That's true. That's true. Haven't we all? I think it's an underrated diner food.
It is.
Highly underrated.
Yeah.
A brick of beef. That is, that's always good stuff. We should probably talk about hockey because this is Komets Corner, brought to you as always by Lee's Famous Chicken. He's Shane Albarani, I'm Glenn Marini, and a lot of really good stuff to get to. We have a lot of interviews this week, which is great because we're not talking about strike. We're not talking about anything else.
Back to hockey.
But hockey, and most of it is positive stuff. First off, Shane, you heard the call Saturday night. Got a little taste back of first place. If you're the Komets, how do you look back on this weekend? Like, what's your takeaway? Because, like I said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah, you won the week. That's something you hadn't been doing since the holiday break. That's really the goal. You're not going to win every game, but you want to win the week, and that's what they did. They won 2 out of 3. Had a chance to get back into first place, sole possession on Sunday, but it wasn't meant to be. But overall, you're still feeling pretty good because even Sunday, we got hit hard. This is the reality of the ECHL. You lose Matt Brown and Brady Stonehouse in the matter of hours after you're done with that game in Toledo, and you got to play him the next day. So considering you had those 2 guys out of the lineup, the Komets were in that game Sunday till the very end, really had a chance to tie it up or even win it, but wasn't in the cards. But again, you get 2 out of 3. You're just a game back. Toledo's got a game in hand on you, but you got to be feeling good. You've got it back here, so they got to be feeling pretty good.
I'm glad we're on the same page because look at this right here. Matt Brown, Brady Stonehouse. That's like right off the top.
We're
One
pros.
of the questions I wanted to ask you is how does that affect the lineup? Stonehouse has been a bit of an agitator who can score as well, and then Brown talented offensively. So how does that change the lineups? How does that change the lines? And before we get into the games, what does that mean for the Komets going forward?
Yeah, that's the thing, that I know people get frustrated about, but that's something that the lineup changes on a daily basis. Friday and Saturday, I think that was the first time this year we had the exact same lineup. And then the next day, hours later, it's totally blown up because you're missing 2 guys now. Matt Brown, who came off a 4-point night on Friday against Cincinnati. So, it is a juggling thing from really every day, really. So, no, that, the lines were kind of mixed up. Passes were crisp Friday and Saturday, but now you got 2 guys out of the lineup. Nico Blashman came back in the lineup because he had been suspended 5 games, and then, he might be missing some more time after he got a 5-minute major for boarding. Matt Miller came back after missing a few weeks with injury. So, things were already getting kind of juggled already. And you throw those guys out and, we don't know the status. It looked like it's not going to be anything long term. Those poor guys had to fly across country in the matter of hours and then play a game in Los Angeles. And so hopefully they'll be back by Wednesday. But if not, we've got enough guys and we'll be able to soldier through the weekend.
One more topic before we get into the highlights. The ECHL All-Star Classic roster named Samuel Janssen, the goalie for the Komets, is making the trip. What have you seen from him that has been special this season that allows him to be an ECHL All-Star? That game is being played January 19th, so a week from today. But obviously we saw, the shutouts early. He's got 3 shutouts this season. What sticks out to you about his All-Star selection?
Well, he's kind of had a roller coaster ride. He started off the season 5-0 and 3 shutouts, but after that he went 0, 3, and 2. So, how quick things can change.
First impressions are important.
Absolutely, and that first one was magnificent. But no, he's a young kid. He's 21 years old, but he shows great poise, great size. He's a legit NHL prospect, along with Nathan Day. So goaltending this year for the Komets has not been a problem. I think either one of those guys could have been the representative for the Komets.
All right, let's get right into the highlights from Friday night because we got a lot of goals to get to. You're talking about a Friday night against the Cincinnati Cyclones at home. And, you know, it was really good to see Anthony Petrozelli get a goal, first goal of the night in the first period to get the K's rolling because, you know, he was just off what? He was just off the IR in this one.
Yeah, you know, Anthony, you know, he's had a slow start, only one goal coming into the weekend. He picked up a couple. So, you know, he's a guy, you know, when you are a little shorthanded like we have been, he's a guy, you know, he's not going to be a top line guy, but, you know, he is that 10th, 11th, 12th forward, and he's a guy obviously experienced. And when you can get some production out of that last line, that's fantastic. And Petey, of course, has got all the experience, and the goal he scored there was purely experience. He really made that happen. And Petey can still make things happen on the penalty kill too, so he's still got a lot of value.
You just saw the goal from Lyndon McCallum. What does he bring to this team? Because this was a good chance to get him settled in, and he obviously, Kirill Tatayev had a heck of a game, hopes to be playing on a line with somebody like that, but what did you see from McCallum that impressed you?
Yeah, you know, Lyndon is a great guy. You know, we had him his rookie year in 2022. You know, we traded Zach Jordan, who was just a terrific guy, terrific player, but, you know, in moments, in slumps like this, something has to be done, and they pulled the trigger on this trade, and Lyndon McCallum is, I mean, a really good player. He's got a lot of size, and like you said, you saw him with Kirill Tatayev, and he's a guy who can skate with Kirill, and I think that's one thing that you know, Kirill's been missing that guy on the same line that can skate with him, and we saw it there on Friday night that Lyndon might be that guy.
Complimentary hockey. At what point were you like, oh man, this is going to be the Komets' night?
Well, you know what? We were up 5-1 and had to win it 7-4. So I was not exactly confident that it was going to be our night.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, you take a look at Matt Brown there, and just you know, when he was firing goals in, and Tatayev gets 2 goals in this game. What was your big takeaway after this game? Because obviously it's a great way to start a weekend, especially when you know you're going to play Toledo back-to-back home and away.
Well, both games, you know.
Away and home, I should say.
Yeah, but both games, you know, third periods have been a problem, especially late in the games have been issues. You know, we had a 5-1 lead. You know, kind of got away with one on Friday, but hey, we persevered and we managed to still get that win. And then Saturday, we got a late goal, you know, like 3.5 minutes left, and I'm looking up at the clock. I'm like, that's a lot of time for Toledo in their building when they're out scoring their opponents in the third period like 60-10. You know, just a crazy stat. So, you know, the fact that they pulled their goalie, we spent a minute and a half, the final minute and a half, totally in our own zone and managed to hang on and get the win. I think, you know, it's like, all right, well, we flipped the script a little bit. Those games a month ago were getting away from us, but now we're starting to win them.
Okay, so Lyndon McCallum scores his first goal this season in a Komets uniform. Matt Barry does the same as well. How nice was it to see those guys incorporated and really kind of gel and fit in with exactly what the Komets were trying to do?
Yeah, Matt Barry's a terrific player. He's a guy who has tons of experience, especially in the ECHL, and to get him kind of middle of the season is really great, and he's going to really kind of stabilize and really help the younger guys as well. And he's a guy who's going to make everybody on his line better.
When you take a look at the overall shots in this game, Komets outshot them 41-22, and that was the theme for the weekend. They outshot every opponent this weekend. Is that something that was a point of emphasis? Because the one guy I saw a lot of rebounds on Matthew Brown shots, and that just helps everybody else if you're going to clean it up in front of the goal.
Yeah, you know, when all else fails, put it on the net. You know, I think a lot of the shots Sunday were from the perimeter, so they turned out to be easy saves. But Friday night, Tommy Scarfoni, the goaltender for Cincy, was leaving a lot of rebounds. So it's like when a goalie has bad rebound control, that's what you want to do. Just put it on net, and they got a lot of those greasy goals. So, but when you have a goaltender that a little more experienced and able to handle those, it's a little bit more difficult. So sometimes that stat is a little deceiving.
All right, so I did talk a little bit about Matthew Barry getting his first goal with the Komets on Friday. We had a chance to talk with the recently acquired Matt Barry this past week at practice, and here's what he had to say about joining the Komets midseason. Here with one of the newest acquisitions on the Komets roster, Matthew Barry, a forward. And Matthew, man, you started this season over in Britain. So what made you decide to come back to the United States and play for the Komets here in the 2025-26 season?
I just think it was my time to come back overseas and play back home in front of, I guess, family and friends more. And, you know, I played with a couple of these guys before, so I think making the move transition a little bit easier and just hoping to go on a run with these guys and make it in the playoffs far.
What is hockey like in Britain? Like, are there a lot of differences, or is it all the same once you get on the ice?
I feel like it's pretty similar over there, except the ice is bigger. They play on an Olympic sheet, so getting back to the regular size rink is a little bit of an adjustment, but other than that, it's pretty similar hockey.
Okay. Now, Komets fans, you were a little bit of a thorn in their side when you played for Cincinnati, because I looked up our highlights in our archive system. We got a couple of goals of you scoring here against the Komets during your Cincinnati times. What's it like now to be on the other side of that rivalry and now be suiting up for the K's?
It's definitely a change-up, you know. I've played against the Komets quite a few times on 2 different teams now, but it feels good to be on this side of things, and I'm happy to be here.
What are you looking to bring to this Komets team?
Hopefully generate some offense, help the team score some goals, and hopefully win some games here soon.
When you take a look at the roster for the first time with the Komets, what stuck out to you? What made them attractive, and what were some of the things you say, okay, these guys are pretty good at this, X, Y, Z?
Oh, I mean, it just looks like they got a good goals for, goals against differential, so it looks like they're a good team in the standings. Like I said, I played with Aliardi before, Smerek before, so some good players on this team, and just looking to build with them and make a good thing happen here.
You're from Canton, Michigan, not too far away, so being close to home, relatively speaking, is that something that played into your decision?
Yeah, it's definitely nice being closer to family, and in this division, some of the games and the rinks are closer, so they can maybe come out and watch. So yeah, that definitely played a little bit of a factor, but yeah, I was happy to be here and look to get things going.
What, if a Komets fan didn't know much about you, what would you tell them about you, about your game, and about your personality?
Just hard-working forward that looks to get to the net and generate from around the net, and that's it. Just work hard and do the right things, and hopefully good things will start happening for us.
I mentioned Canton, Michigan. That's a kind of a suburb of Detroit on the west side. So what is Canton, Michigan for? What was it like growing up there? Because that's right in the heart of hockey country.
Yeah, I mean, being outside of Detroit and hockey town, so I think growing up, a lot of street hockey games with friends, and just big sports area. So I feel like you just play any sport you can when you can get outside, and just look to have fun here.
Who's your favorite player growing up? I imagine a Red Wing.
Yeah, it was probably of the wings, probably Fedorov. Yeah, he's probably my favorite wing growing up.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, good player for sure.
For you, how do you make sure that this team, hits the gas for the rest of the season? Because, the hockey season is a long season. It's a grueling season. But you guys are battling for first place. So how do you make sure and use your leadership and your experience to make these guys take the next step forward to maybe win a conference championship?
Oh, we just got to stay focused. I think that's what it is. Stay focused on our game, worry about ourselves, and then the rest should take care of itself. You just got to come to the rink every day, work hard, and do the right things, and it adds up over the course of the season. All
right, we appreciate it. He's Matt Berry. It is good to have you here in Fort Wayne.
Yep, good to be here.
All right, Matt Berry, I'm Glenn Marini, and that is Komets Corner. Matt, very calm, very professional. It's like he's done it before.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, it's like he's done it before. Well, speaking of doing it before, this team has been to Toledo before, and you knew you were going to get 2 games against Toledo this weekend, starting Saturday at Toledo. And heading into this game, obviously coming off a 7-goal game against Cincinnati, you're feeling good. But when you go to Toledo, kind of what's the mindset of this team as we take a look at the highlights from Saturday night?
Yeah, and it's a different vibe when we go to Toledo. It's a snake pit. It's a really, really tough place to play. We all know that. The whole team knows that they've got to be on it when they go to Toledo, especially in the third period. We have seen some just weird things happen in that barn over the decade, and we were able to finish it out. We played a great. Both teams. I think these 2 teams are very incredibly evenly matched. I mean, you can almost just go right down the roster and put guys right next to each other. So, the little X factors is staying out of the penalty box. They got the best power play, and their penalty kill. They got 12 shorthanded goals, which is a crazy number.
Already,
and it's no one's even close to them. So it doesn't matter if they're shorthanded or if on the power play they're dangerous. But 5-on-5 is the issue. If you can play 5-on-5, you are going to beat this team. And I think the Komets managed to stay out of the penalty box, and they managed to do all the little things right on Saturday night.
We saw Austin McGarrett get that first goal in the second period to make it 1-0. He had a goal in every game this weekend. Empty netter on Friday, but goals on Saturday and a goal on Saturday and a goal on Sunday. What's impressed you about this recent stretch where he's able to, find the net, different kind of goals as well, including a rebound goal, an empty netter, and a different type of goal on Sunday?
Yeah, he's a guy who's come as advertised. Rookie of the year. Played in South Carolina, which is a tough division to play in. He's a guy from Georgia. You don't see very many players.
A lot of hockey guys from
in Georgia, but no, I mean he's a hard worker. He's a guy who goes to the net. He's got great puck handling skills, and everyone's everyone seems to like him. So he's a good dude, and he was going to be a big marquee factor in this team. And when the Komets lost, Dylan Hameliuk to start the season, a lot of importance of that signing of Magera really came through. So glad to have him here in Fort Wayne.
Petey gets his second goal in 2 nights. What was it like to see, Petey have another one and continue to help lead this team, not just with experience and what he's saying, but also on the ice?
Yeah, that was a Petey goal. Right place, right time.
Right off the shoulder,
that's,
right?
That's an Anthony Petrozelli goal. He's just going to be hanging around the post there. The puck's going to come to him, and there you go. It's in the back of the net.
Shoulder it in, right?
So that was a textbook Anthony Petrozelli goal, and those are the ones you need. We haven't been getting just those greasy goals in front of the net. Again, right place, right time. They got one on a deflection, and that's the wackiness of the Huntington Center. So, but again, we played great down the stretch. I thought we played all 3 periods and got a clutch goal and managed to hang on there in the final minutes. So that's an A+ game.
I want to give a lot of credit to Alex Aliardi for the goal, but I mean, Toledo came out, and they were firing. Samuel Janssen down the stretch was amazing for the K's to secure the victory. So I guess he shows you why he's an ECHL All-Star down the stretch in this one.
That's one thing Toledo does. They come out, especially in their building, they will come out those first 2 minutes and they will empty the tank. They want to break you down in the first couple of minutes. And the fact that we managed to weather that storm in the first 2 minutes of the game and the final 2 minutes of the game was really fantastic, because the way we started that game Saturday, it was like, ooh, we might be in for a long night, but Sam Janssen made some great saves there in the first couple minutes, and it just was able to stabilize us, and really the Komets outplayed Toledo the rest of the way.
So it's always good to go to Toledo and come away with a victory. But one guy that we've seen in a Toledo uniform up until this year was Jalen Schmerich. We had a chance to chat with a defenseman who has been fantastic offensively for the K's this season, and here's what he had to say about going from the hated to the loved. Here at Komets practice with Jalen Schmerich. And Jalen, when you take a look at this Komets team, obviously you've got a lot of the season still ahead of you. So what are some of the things that you're working on to get this Komets team back to the level where you play kind of that first place type of hockey this season?
For us, I think we're still playing good hockey. We've had a couple minor mistakes, but we don't look at it as mistakes, kind of lessons learned. You'd rather go through that now than go through that later in the year. So it's good that we're going through that kind of adversity right now, and we'll be ready for it at the end of the year. And we got some guys injured, some guys called up, so we just got to keep fighting and find a way to get points. And at the end of the year, that's the biggest thing, right? Finding a way to add up points. So
okay, I want to talk about you, because you've had a fantastic season so far. Heading into this weekend, 26 points. That leads the Komets. It's not every day that a D-man leads a team in points. What has allowed you to have that kind of success on the offensive side of the puck this year?
I think just the coaching staff believing in me, and that was one of the reasons why I came here this summer. When I talked to them, they're just going to give me an opportunity to play my game and really rely on me to bring that offensive side of the puck. And guys have just made some great plays, and we're kind of starting to gel and find some chemistry with some guys, and it's just been fun.
You were kind of a late signing to this Komets team, so how did you manage to gel so quickly with these guys, knowing that, you were kind of a late add and quite a huge bonus for this Komets team late in the game when you take a look at the offseason?
For me, it's just about talking a lot, finding where guys want the puck, talking to them about where you want the puck, and, when you come back to the bench, you have to say what you see out there, and when you can kind of communicate like that helps that chemistry. So next time you get in that situation, you kind of already know where each other are going to be, and that's just the biggest thing for me, knowing where guys are going to be and knowing where every guy likes the puck.
Talking about that chemistry, you and Harrison Reese have proved to be a pretty good combination back there. So in that pairing, what makes you guys click together? What is it about playing with him that brings out the best in you and that brings out the best in him?
He's just allowing me to play my game. Sometimes I do make a mistake and he covers my back, but also me, he's helping me on the D side, I'm helping him on the offensive side. So just working with each other and kind of gelling off each other, and just communication, like I said, that's the biggest thing.
Did you know him before this season?
No.
Okay, so you guys have become fast friends, I imagine.
Oh yeah, that's my bestie.
When you take a look at the overall ECHL stats coming into this weekend, those 26 points are second among all defensemen in the ECHL. Do you ever look at those numbers, and if so, kind of what's your impression of them?
Yeah, I mean, I look at them, but, you know, more so I'm focused on my plus-minus. I've had the points throughout my career. I want to try to get my plus-minus a little bit higher and stay on that positive side. You know, there's a few stats that I look at and I keep tabs on, but, you know, of course everyone wants to finish first, and, you know, I just want to be the best D-man in the league.
For you, you're from Detroit, so this is sort of nearby. Did you get a chance to go home for the holidays, and if so, kind of what was the vibe? How was it to rest the bones, if you will, to get ready for the long stretch that is the second half of the ECHL season?
Yeah, it was good. You know, I was going through some things, so needed to enjoy the time off, but it was good to just kind of be home with the family for those 8 days or whatever, and just enjoy some time with my kids and just be a dad for 8 days and kind of relax and reset the mind and reset the body and come back fresh.
How old are your kids? What are their names?
I have 8-year-old twins named Julian and Jalea, and then I have a 1-year-old baby girl named Nova.
Oh wow! So full house, full house.
Oh yeah, full house.
What was the big Christmas gift this year?
I'd probably say for the twins, my twin girl, she wanted a hoverboard.
Okay.
So that was a pretty tricky one. It's like I can't teach you how to ride that because I don't know how to ride that, but she learned on her own kind of thing, watching YouTube and just kind of working on it and helping her out a little bit. For my twin boy, he got a skateboard, but I think he was more excited about he had like a battery-powered Nerf gun, so shoots pretty hard. He's pretty excited to shoot me with that, but I'm not happy about that. And then for my baby girl, she got an iPad, and I mean, it's like she's been working on a phone for 5 years and she's 1 year old, so it's good to see.
I was going to say, if you need to find technology, if we need to figure out technology, you just got to find a kid somewhere.
Yeah, no, most of the stuff they help me with, I'm trying to figure out how to play Roblox and all these other games, and I don't know, it's tough, but they figure it out, so I try to just play with them and have fun and just do it for them. You know,
when you take a look at your career, you've played for different teams in the ECHL Central Division, most notably for Toledo. I mean, Komets fans, you were kind of a thorn in their side. So what is it like to be on the other side of it now and be a guy that they're rooting for as opposed to a guy that they're rooting against here in the jungle?
I mean, I think there's some people rooting for me, some people aren't. It is what it is. I mean, I've had people rooting for me and against me my whole life. It's kind of just a motivation. I don't really look at, what team it is. I just, want to play hockey and gel with the guys in the locker room. And, wherever I am, those are my brothers and those are the guys I like, and no friends on the ice. So.
All right, well, we're definitely glad to have you here, man. Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
All right, he's Jalen Smerrick. I'm Glenn Marini, and that is Komets Corner. Definitely good to have him in a Komets uniform as opposed to playing against him.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best guys in the league. I mean, it's not even up for debate. Just like he said, he's got haters, he's got lovers. What Reggie Jackson say, they don't boo nobodies, and wherever Jalen goes, he is booed. I mean, every time in Toledo, every time he touches the puck, you can hear the boos. Kalamazoo, Cincinnati, it's the same thing, and I think that's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true.
You're doing something right.
Yeah. He loves being the enemy too.
Yeah,
I think he thrives off that, and it's always good to have one or two of those guys on the roster.
Absolutely. Jack Dugan was like that too.
Cactus Jack.
Yeah, who was booed every town he went into, every time he touched the puck, and I think that's, again, you're doing something right if you're getting under the opposing fan's skin that much. It's fantastic.
Well, I would think Jalen would like nothing more than to beat Toledo Sunday after beating them on Saturday. Taking a look at the highlights back in the jungle on Sunday, I should say. The K's taking on Toledo for the second night in a row. A really good crowd. We were talking about this off camera. Really good crowd. Over 7,700 for this one. And they saw Austin McGarrett continue his scoring streak right here with a goal in the second period to get the K's on the board.
Yeah, that was one of those freaky ones that you normally kind of see at the Huntington Center. It was a puck that kind of sat there. A goaltender never saw it, and Austin was able to knock it in. And, the Komets dominated. I mean, I think the shots were 11-1 at one point, and then Toledo scored their first goal, and you kind of get that, it's going to be one of those nights. But, you led into quick ones there in the first period, but then you settled in. But, you took Matthew Brown out, you took Stonehouse. I mean, it really messed up with the lines. But overall, again, I think it was a good performance. I don't think anybody, you're disappointed you didn't get the win. But, again, you played great Sunday. You got 2 wins. You're going to be feeling pretty good going into the week. You're going to see Toledo again a few more times down the stretch. You've got a nice, comfortable lead on third place and you're just 2 points back. You're just one game back of Toledo, so you're in a good spot, and you were able to kind of break that slump, and hopefully we're back on the winning track here, and you got 3 divisional games coming up next week.
Yeah, you take a look at the numbers. Komets outshot Toledo 32-25 in this game, but a lot of that, as you said, came early.
Yeah, they came early. We got on a power play, Brandon Hawkins scores. Okay, we got that out of the way, and then we had to kill off a 5-minute major, and I thought that was one of those moments. You're down 2-0. You got a 5-minute power play. You're given the best power play in the league, 5 whole minutes on the power play, and you managed to kill it off. The one thing that may have saved us is that it was at the end of the period. We had to kill off the first 3 minutes, and then we had a break, and then Toledo just couldn't get it going there right coming out of the intermission. So I thought that was fantastic work. But again, when you're killing a 5-minute penalty, those after playing already 2 games, those legs are going to be heavy. So you got to think about stamina. You got to think about just kind of running out of gas down the end there, and I think we did just a fantastic job of sticking with them, and it was a great weekend overall.
Yeah, and you mentioned having to kill off that power play. Nathaniel Day, 22 of 24 saves, one of those goals at the end. Empty netter obviously doesn't count against him, but really. A solid effort from Day after another solid effort against Cincinnati on Friday, with Janssen with another solid effort on Saturday.
Yeah,
as you mentioned, goaltending not the problem.
Yeah, they're young, they're rookies. They're 20, 21 years old, so you're gonna have. It's going to be kind of up and down, but I think they've had more ups than downs. They're goaltenders, so you're going to have some bad games, and it's not all on them, obviously. Sometimes your defense got to help, and sometimes you got to score them some goals. Goal support is a big thing, and Nathan Day, his goals against is just a little over 2, So, he's doing work, and so is Sam Janssen. I know the save percentage is dipping under 90%, which is something, you don't want to do, but again, it's not all on him. Tyler Inamoto up in the AHL, one of the Komets' best shot blockers, probably the best shot blocker. And that makes a difference because you're not seeing those quality shots.
Yeah, he's a guy that doesn't always show up on the stat sheet, what he does, but really you can tell a difference when he's here in Fort Wayne. You mentioned goal scorers, scoring goals, obviously good for the goalies when their guys do that. Austin McGarrett did that this past week. Alex Aliardi with the game winner on Saturday. We had a chance to chat with those 2 guys and head coach Jesse Kalicki following Sunday's game.
2 out of 3, obviously we'll take it, but for us, I think we wanted all 3. So, it's tough, but we got to take what we can. So, yeah, I think we had a simple message, keep playing hard, get pucks in, puck management, get pucks on net and just crash and, just keep it simple. I think, with us, we know how we have to play, skilled, hard, just get pucks in, get pucks on the net and, just play simple. So.
Yeah, I think they did a good job. We came out hard. I think we outshot them. I think it was close to 12-2 for the first 10 minutes. We came out hard and played well, and they capitalized on their opportunities, same as last year. They're always good when they get their chances. Yeah, it's great. I think we deserved the night as well. We should have went 3-0 this weekend, but winning another weekend, that puts us where we want to be. I think we just stuck to the process. We trust what we do in there and what our coaches and our staff is giving us, and it's the long process of. Basically making building blocks, keep sticking with it, and the things we do work, you just got to stick to them.
Yeah, positive. Two wins, and I thought a strong game tonight, a strong effort at least. So I think when we look back on it, the loss that'll hurt, but I think we can be happy with the effort, and I think with some of the guys we've lost, I think we're happy with how the guys worked tonight. Yeah, we didn't change too much, to be honest. We were finding ways to get points, and I don't think we wanted to venture too far out of our comfort zone. I think we were doing a lot of really good things well, and we got some puck luck to get some bounces and some goals in the back of the net. So just kind of how hockey's played. It's not linear. There's going to be some ups and downs, some peaks and valleys in a season, and happy with how the guys worked in the last 10 days.
Jesse saying afterwards that the key to this week is recovery and sleep. And they have to sleep fast because they've got a game on Wednesday. But recovery, Key on Monday, Recovery Key on Tuesday, and then back at it on Wednesday as we take a look at this upcoming schedule. 3 games this week, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday in the Jungle. What are you most looking forward to about this stretch? Because after this, you're on your weekly January sabbatical on the road due to the Mitzvah Shrine Surface. So it's going to be circus. So it's going to be a lot of road games after this.
Yeah, you played Toledo twice, the team you were chasing. Now you've got the 2 teams that are on your tail this week. So you got Indy coming to town. Last time they were here, they beat us in overtime, a game, again, that we probably should have won. Bloomington, same thing, New Year's Eve, another game that I thought we should have won, but we kind of had a lapse in the second period. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You got 2 division games. You got to take care of business. Toledo, I think they play Iowa, I think for the 50th time, it feels that way, against the last place Heartlanders. But Iowa beat them at the Huntington Center on Friday, which set up the Komets having a chance to get back into first place. So, and that's another thing, again, with this league. Iowa got, I think, 3 guys down from the AHL team, and it made a big difference. So it's just a matter of when you catch teams. If you are on the low end here, where we got a lot of guys calls up, it may be a little issue, but you could get everybody back by Wednesday, too. So you just don't know from day to day.
The ever-changing hockey league. We'll have it covered next Monday on Komets Corner. For Shane, I'm Glenn. We'll see you next week.